In this video, we're going to be discussing Riot Games' Netflix series Arcane, which is based around the characters and world from the game League of Legends. This conversation is spoiler-free and all of the footage shown is from the trailers. So, game to film and TV adaptations in the past haven't been great. The list could go on forever. We're talking Assassin's Creed, we're talking Monster Hunter.
We're talking like Doom if you go far back enough, some really, really bad ones.
They haven't been great, but Riot Games has single-handedly restored my faith in adaptations and have created the best, hands down, the best adaptation hands down. The bar has been raised so high and it has been set.
It is for sure hard to think of something that has had like such a good first impression. And even on like rewatches, like maybe got more of a critical eye, it's hard to see that much wrong with it. It seems like such a great first outing for Riot Games here.
Absolutely. So season 1 is now finished. What are your first impressions?
It's great. It's like really, really good. The presentation of it all. They obviously had this massive campaign around it where they were really pushing it super hard, as hard as they could. You go into it and it's brilliant. Like they really, really bring characters that get a little bit of like story and lore in the games. Like players of the games would know a bit about like Jinx and Vi and all that. But it just goes so much further than like you would expect. It does a really good job of humanizing these characters, and it's just a great show overall.
Absolutely. It surprised me a lot. I knew it was going to be good, but it definitely surprised me at how good it really was. So the biggest thing that surprised me when it comes to the discussion around Arcane is that everyone that's seen Arcane has said the exact same thing. It was incredible, but the most surprising thing was even people who have never played League of Legends still enjoyed it. It holds up that well by itself. What have you thought about the discussion around it?
They must have taken a lot of effort to make sure that was possible. In my mind, it's so easy to make a show for League of Legends players by League of Legends people and just have all lots of hints and lots of inside references, but they did a really good job at just like establishing all these characters that we may know as just interesting people. And they do a lot of good work into the voice acting of it. They do a lot of good work into all the development of the music. It's just a great show with a League skin on it. And it does help that the League skin they have, quite an interesting thing to look at, quite an interesting world to jump into in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. It holds up so well by itself. And you spoke about it. They could have went down a route of making it super laser focused on people who have only been playing League of Legends for the last 10 years. But with that being said, that it can hold up well by itself if you haven't seen League of Legends. It hits different when you're someone like me who has been playing the game for nearly 10 years and you can spot all of the different Easter eggs, all of the different references, all of the different sound cues, and seeing the characters become who they are in the game as we know them. Because this is a prequel to League of Legends, the game, basically.
Yeah, if you look for them, if you know what you're looking for, there are cool little references here and there that kind of put a smile on your face, whereas other people who don't know just see like cool background info. They do a great job at giving little rewards for those who have a keen eye for that sort of stuff.
The whole story of Arcane is based around two sisters, Vi and Jinx, which are very popular characters from the game League of Legends. And it was so nice seeing them interact with each other and some of the other familiar faces. Well, I'm not going to name some of the other characters that do show up in this series, but it all works so well.
Yeah,
it all works so well. And the writing, the voice acting is superb. So Vi is voiced by Haley Steinfeld and Jinx is voiced by Ella Purnell. They sound so authentic. They sound so believable.
Absolutely.
It could have been so easy for them to have gone the cheesy one-liner route and made it super kiddie if they wanted to. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what League is, right? If you play League or even Legends of Runeterra, the characters, in terms of like what you get in terms of who they are, how they act, sort of personalities they have, all come from one-liners.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have these voice actors, which, and by the way, the voice actress for Jinx, this is her first role doing VO. So they really, really knock out the park and make these characters that don't get too much in the previous games in terms of development, just because of just how the games are, and really build them up to be really interesting sort of people you can invest in emotionally.
Yeah, you say emotionally. It's actually, the show Arcane is quite deep. It's quite intimate, and some of the themes that they explore are actually quite mature. Like Jinx is famous for being a little bit crazy. You know what I mean? And the way they handle her mental health, oh man, on screen, I was gobsmacked. I was like, Jesus, this is world class, like storytelling, world class animation. Yeah, did that surprise you as well? Because League of Legends target audience, we know exactly. You should know who they are if you're listening to this. What do you think?
I really didn't expect to go into it and have like my heartstrings tugged at by a League of Legends show. I expected action. I expected like hints towards the original source material, but they really do a good job of making you care about just the characters on the screen because of how much time they spend building up their own struggles, their own issues, and what they've got going on. Again, it's just a sign of really good writing on the part of the team behind Arcane, and they do a fantastic job at making these characters more than just, you know, little avatars you play in League of Legends. They really nail it.
Arcane, my opinion is that it wouldn't have hit as hard if it was a live action. So if it was real people, film cameras, all that sort of stuff. The animation was really the only route they could take to handle something of this scale. And we have to give credit to Fortiche, the French studio that animated Arcane. They've done a lot of their short films for League in the past, a lot of their short music videos. Oh man, they hit it out of the park with the animation. The style is so creative and unique. What did you think of the visuals?
It's unbelievable how good like the visuals are. Fortiche really know how to not only turn it up to 11 on key moments and really mix things up and get quite interesting with the animation. It's not all, and I wouldn't want to spoil any of the great moments, it's not all the same, albeit fantastic visuals throughout. They really know how to mix things up every now and again. Having this amazing studio behind the animation really helps bring you into this, not to sound cliche, bring you into the world of Arcane. When you see like these dark streets or like these really interesting settings, when you see the characters and how well they emote, and like it's there are times where I would like rewind the show to see a scene again, just because of like how good it looked. To put it bluntly, it just looked fantastic.
Yeah, I like the style changes, the way they just move so dynamically from one to another was a masterclass. And the action scenes, oh man, I think you can go so wrong with action scenes, but they had so much weight behind them. When you're creating a show based around a game that is combat heavy, that's all you really do in League of Legends is fight. The weight and the punches, everything needs to have a feel to it, and it has great weight. So once again, Fortiche, we have to big up that animation studio.
The fighting goes really hard in this show. They really know what they're doing in terms of making the fight scenes seem really exciting, really edge of your seat moments. And it's not all just like fist fights either. Again, no spoilers in this, but they really know how to make action exciting, even if it's not just like a fist fight. They really take it all over the place, and it really does help split up the also really good, like we said, the writing, the dialogue moments with much needed action.
Yeah,
they get the balance really well.
Yeah, the balance is paced very well. But I mentioned it just a second ago, considering League of Legends isn't a story game, I think people need to understand that League of Legends is not a story game. There's going to be a lot of people who have no idea what League of Legends is and see it pop up on their Netflix homepage, and they're going to click on it, and I feel like they'll be so surprised when they realize what sort of game League of Legends is, because there's no story really in League of Legends. There's lore. I think lore and story are different. So there's a backstory to these characters, and you hear the characters interact with each other and they speak to each other in the game, just ever so briefly. Those cheesy one-liners, they're all in the game. But they took the source material and they fleshed it out and they executed it so well.
No, you're totally right. So League of Legends is super bare bones. I know over the past years they have been spending the time to go back to their characters and flesh them out in like story pages on their website and stuff like that. But to see that sort of be brought into another like visual medium, like a TV show, is they really smash it. Because like Bilgewater, Piltover, Zorn, all these places were originally just background fluff, and now they seem, especially in shows like Arcane, really fleshed out places with people in them and politics and all this sort of really interesting stuff you can just dive into. It kind of makes me scratch my head and thinking about, how did they even pull this off? And if they can pull this off, they've got such a big back catalogue of characters and places and stuff. Like, they could, like Arcane season 25, if they wanted to.
They've opened and now tapped into something that people are going to want more of, and I think they're happy to, because of how well it was received. I think they're more than happy to. I think you were just about to say it, but League of Legends has 157 characters. Arcane season 1 is based off 2 of those characters, so and just imagine where and what they can do. And Piltover and Zorn are only 2 out of 9 territories in the world of Runeterra. Runeterra is where all of Riot Games and League of Legends world takes place. I personally hope that we go to Bilgewater next. I want it to be like something super gritty, or maybe even a Shadow Isles, something dark, like sinister, dark. That's my hopes. The sound, let's close it out on the sound. They done great. I've always liked Riot Games. They've got their own in-house studio and they work really, really close with their musicians and music artists. I liked it. The score was great. The soundtracks were great. The opening theme was awesome. Nothing else to say here. Imagine Dragons got their money. So
they did. I mean, they have a pre-existing relationship, right, with Imagine Dragons. They did like a world song a few years back. Even if you're like me and not a massive fan of Imagine Dragons, it's all implemented well. They do a really cool thing where they use like tracks like Imagine Dragons songs or other songs from other artists and like play them in the background as you see more of either like the streets of Zorn or Piltover. They do a really good job using it, and it just makes the show even better.
So what do we score it? Me personally, it's a straight 10 out of 10. It's not even an exaggeration. For me, it's so close to perfect.
Right.
But I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
You could nitpick it all day if you really wanted to, but you're putting in way more effort than you need to. It's so on point. It's so good for like, and this is like their first attempt as well. Yeah, it can only really go up from here unless they botch it, which it doesn't seem like they will. They seem to take their time making these sorts of things. As close to a 10 out of 10 as possible, I guess. 10 out of 10, amazing. They really smash it. They really do.
Absolutely. This has been Dorrani and Connor reviewing Netflix's Arcane from Riot Games, based on League of Legends. Peace out, everyone.
Go and watch it. Peace.